If you don't stay down and you never quit, come on over here and sit on the far end of the bench.
Let's get into last week of the NFL. So the games that we picked in our pick. Well, yeah,
no,
I know.
It's a recurring time bomb. Like, oh man, we have to do this again.
We do.
That's
have
why
to
we're
do
leaving
this
it until
again.
the end the last couple of weeks.
Well, yeah, and we're leaving it. I mean, this will be after we do this. We'll do start, bench, cut, and get things rolling out of here. The games we picked last week. You ended up going 4-2 on the weekend. You won Washington, Cincinnati, Philadelphia, and the Chargers, losing. I guess you went 4-1. Did we only pick 5 games?
I could pick 6. Because we had 2. We had
one,
another
2, 3. I don't know which one it was. I only have 5 down. I have Washington, Cincinnati, Baltimore, Philly, and LA. But I can't remember. Those were the only ones that I had written down. So we'll just roll with it. So you went 4-1. I went 3-2. I won Cincinnati. The Giants, the G-men, are still riding themselves pretty high, and Philly remains the only undefeated team.
Chiefs.
Oh, that is correct.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure we both. I think I picked the Chiefs actually.
Yeah. So that'll even. That evens things up. Then we both went 4-2 because I guess I remember picking the Bills. I don't know. There's a lot that happened. I killed a lot of time in Vegas for the last few days. So who knows what's correct and what's not. But we're going to get into so those games that we talked about. I did want to mention the New York game because that is interesting. But also, I mean, on the other side, the Ravens, in all of their losses so far this season, they've had 20-point leads or double-digit leads. And they're just not able to. It is a recurring theme. This is why I sit here every single week and I get chastised by everybody that we talk to saying that Lamar Jackson is not the guy that I would want leading my team. I'm not saying that he's not going to get paid. I'm not saying that he's not going to be a starting quarterback for somebody in this league. I am saying that he hasn't proven the ability to do much for you in the postseason. Good regular seasons are awesome. That's fine. Break all the meaningless records that you want in the NFL.
When it comes to those meaningless records,
when it comes down to it, in the crunch time, in the big moments, you haven't been able to produce, and your team is suffering for it. You lost to a team that has Daniel Jones at quarterback and was running Saquon Barkley out for about the same number of snaps as Daniel Jones took.
Let's put a little respect on Danny Dimes' name at this point. I'll give him a little bit of love at this point because look, Dable is doing everything, getting everything out of Daniel Jones right now. He's getting everything he can out of him. And talk about coaching job of the year. He has done an absolute wonder getting Daniel Jones ready to go and making life as easy as possible. He doesn't he makes offense as simple as possible. Does not make things too difficult outside zone reads and maybe a couple zone coverages here and there that you have to dice up. But besides that, it is pretty easy and simple that what Daniel Jones has to do. And right now, the Giants are relying on their defense without Thibodeau, which Thibodeau is, I think he's still injured. And he's
there. Oh, he got the strip sack on that last series.
That's right. I wasn't sure if he was back from that injury during the preseason. But like I said, this Giants team, it's the NFC West, as we can call it, the winningest division right now in football outside of one team. It is a damn good unit over there. Look, New York is buzzing. Not even New York. New Jersey is buzzing because there's only one team that plays in New York. So New Jersey is buzzing.
New Jersey is buzzing. I get to see the other team in New Jersey live in person. Dom and I are going to the Jets-Broncos game this Sunday. So I'm hoping that I don't have to sit through any bad weather. And I know I'm going to have to sit through bad football, but we'll get to that. We'll go to my team.
Make sure your mother doesn't come to the game.
No, she's not coming. It's just me and my brother. That's all.
Good to know. Hide your mothers if you live in Denver. Hide your mothers from coming from Denver this weekend. That's all I'll say.
We got to make sure that Ciara is somewhere safe.
At this point, fuck it. Just let him ride it. Let's see what happens. Maybe that
fires
us up. Let it ride.
Oh man. Let's talk about the Bengals because I got to listen. I listened to the whole game. I downloaded Sirius. I bought a Sirius subscription, so I'm able to listen to their actual radio calls. I was nervous throughout this entire game. I thought Andy Dalton was going to get his revenge game. The way they were able to just run all over the way they're just able to run all over the Bengals defense initially was concerning. It didn't bode well. They stepped up when they needed to. That's the bad part about being a fan of this team is that they're going to do just the bare minimum for like 48 minutes. And then for 12 minutes, they're going to look unstoppable. Because at that time, you got Sam Hubbard getting sacks on Taysom Hill. You got Trey Hendrickson getting in the backfield, causing pressures. You got the interior defensive line shutting the run down, getting the Saints off the field. That was a big issue. The offense, though, 4 trips into the red zone, 4 touchdowns. And they were the ones there. And defense, for whatever reason, whatever you want to say about it, they were giving up field goals in the red zone. I think it was an 18-6 point differential when both offenses were down inside the 20. So I didn't necessarily like it. I was nervous the entire time.
I was expecting
it got
a better
done.
Performance from your defense. That's the most worrying.
I was too.
That's the most worrisome part about this team right now. It's not what the offense can do. Obviously, it's very, very important that Joe stays up on his 2 feet. But this defense right now is let Cooper Rush do what he did. Has let Joe Flacco didn't do shit against you, but Joe Flacco has done his shit. And you let Andy Dalton, who was your quarterback 4 years ago, 5 years ago, however long it was, do this to you. Like it's worrisome. It really is, because when you play. I don't know, when you get to the playoffs, you'll see number 17 in blue, you'll see number 15 in red, and that is not Andy Dalton out there. And unless your burnt toast chicken nuggets over there at corner can figure out themselves out, it's going to be barbecue chicken. It's going to be barbecue chicken alert all day long to Stephon Diggs and Travis Kelce. So they better figure it out. Because, like I said, they're going to make the playoffs. They will, because your offense will lead you there. But when it comes to the playoffs, you're not going to be able to stop a damn soul with as good a quarterbacks and how big of a pass-heavy league this is right now.
Eli Apple is a liability. I tried to stand up for the guy. No, I get it. He in the Super Bowl, that wasn't that bad. This past Sunday, he looked like he was a high school player trying to play up in the NFL. He didn't follow jet motion, and they scored on a jet sweep, a 44-yard jet sweep where nobody fucking touched the guy that was carrying the ball. And the 3 times that they were able to convert long third downs, it was the receiver that was over Eli Apple. So he's done. We need somebody else at corner. Let's get on the horn to Indianapolis and see what it'll take to get Stephon Gilmore, because we need another corner. I would feel a lot better if my corners were Chidobe Awuzie and Stephon Gilmore than I do right now with Eli Apple at any point getting himself onto the field. No, I am nervous. I mean, I think these quarterbacks, they play Atlanta this week. I'm nervous about that game. When they play Cleveland, at least it's not going to be when Deshaun is back. So maybe we'll have a chance for Jacoby Brissett to make a mistake at the end of the game. I just wish that it looked better. I wish that it made me feel better, the fact that they were able to get the win. I'm not going to take anything. I mean, a win is a win is a win is a win. And Burrow looked really good. 28-37, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jamar Chase finally got himself going, 7 receptions, 132 yards and 2 touchdowns. They're putting things together. So that's all I can really say. Let's talk about 17 in blue and 15 in red, because that was another really good game. I mean, you follow up the Tennessee-Alabama matchup on CBS with Bills and Chiefs. Bills moved to 5-1. Josh Allen is an alien. He's just an alien. He's not human.
He's unreal. I mean, I've seen everything I need out of this guy, and he just does it over and over again. I mean, this team is just unreal, dude. They really are. That
drive where he had the hurdle and then threw that dart to Dawson Knox, it was a game-winning drive. I've never seen a quarterback do anything like that.
And man, we can stroke off this offense all we want, this Bills defense is so much improved over last year, and obviously
Milano shut down Patty Mahomes.
Milano is an absolute animal. Flies all around the field. Poyer fucking drove 15 hours across the country because his lungs wouldn't let him fly in a plane, but lets him play football. That's the total grit this team has. I mean, I cannot say enough good things. And look, the Chiefs, they did not play the best game at all. That's the bright side of it. You did not play your best game at all. Travis Kelce, for the most part, was pretty much quiet, like up to his standards at least. Pretty much quiet.
It's a good thing he went quiet the week after I played him in fantasy. That was nice of him.
I'm just saying, like, with this Chiefs team, this is a coin flip, and no pun intended here, of who's going to win this game every single week when these two teams play. It's a coin flip because I could see this series go 10. This could be a 7-game basketball or hockey series, and it go to game 7 where each team will split at home. That's literally all I can see, and it may come down to the end of where Kansas City has to go to Buffalo and beat them, and that may be the difference. I mean, that's where we're at with these two teams. It's the best two teams of football. The Eagles are a wagon. Don't get me wrong. We'll get to them here in a minute. But this is the best two teams of football, and there's zero doubt in my mind about that.
I really don't. I mean, I think the addition of Von Miller cannot be understated, and you and I both know. I mean, we saw it here for over a decade.
We saw it in LA last year too.
And that was the difference in this game. He caused the pressure where they got the turnover at the end of the game because we all said it. They have 1 minute and 4 seconds left. That's too much time. They're going to lose again the same way that they did. They're going to have what happened at the end of the first half. They're going to lose. And the defense stepped up and they got what they needed done. Von Miller got in Patrick Mahomes' face, made him make a bad decision. And shout out to the guy for securing. I didn't think he secured that interception initially. It's like, oh my God, they're going to let this thing, they're going to give it back to them. No, I think Buffalo is much improved. And I think the X factor, and I think the reason why I'm going to jump on your bandwagon and say that they're probably representing the AFC in the Super Bowl is Von Miller. Because he is going to make that much of a difference. He's already made that much of a difference. When it comes playoff time, this team is going to be so dangerous.
Both these teams. I mean, look, this Chiefs team, they lost Tyreek Hill. I would say they even got better.
Juju looks pretty good.
They lose Tyreek Hill. They lose Tyrann Mathieu, and their defense looks much better. It really does. And their offense. I mean, it lives and dies by 15 to 87 connection. So if you can stop that, which not many teams know how to, then you may have a shot at beating this team week in, week out. But until you can do that, you're not going to have a chance of winning against Kansas City.
Sunday Night Football, we finally had Cooper Rush, his first loss of the season. The Eagles go out there, get a 9-point victory, 26-17 in Lincoln Financial Field. It was entertaining. It was kind of a game that you expected. Philly, they didn't wow you, but they definitely did everything they needed to do to win. Jalen Hurts, 15-25, 155 yards, 2 touchdowns. The rushing game came through again. Miles Sanders had a touchdown on the ground and 71 rushing yards. The X factor for this team is A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown alongside Devontae Smith and now Dallas Goedert, they have that little bit of a connection. They have the 3-headed receiving monster that they had when they won the Super Bowl. Plus, having that dynamic weapon at tight end for Jalen Hurts and having the dynamic weapon of Jalen Hurts at quarterback. Same thing that I was talking about with J.J. Adams or J.J. McCarthy at Michigan. When you have the quarterback has the ability to reset the chains whenever he needs to. And he's a dog. Like, I love the way that dude plays football.
No, he is. That team is the epitome of their coach. I know you want to shit on Sirianni all you want.
I shat all over him last season. I'm not shitting on him this year. He's doing the right things.
He is barking back and forth to coaches. He's saying "fuck you, you motherfucker" across the way on national television, when everyone can mouth the words and figure it out. I mean, this team plays with swagger. This team plays with grit, and man, if it wasn't the city of Philadelphia, I might be an Eagles fan because I love the way this team plays. I really do. Between the use of a Heisman Trophy winner and Devontae Smith, and then you also throw in A.J. Brown in the mix, and you have guys like Miles Sanders and Kenneth Gainwell who just get yards at will against anybody. it's a great thing to see. It is a team that you can look at and be like, that's a longevity type of team that they'll have success for a lot more years because this isn't a one and done. They're doing things the right way, and defensively in the look, they have one of the best, if not the best, offensive line in football. That doesn't tell you enough. That's where it all starts right there. So that on top of a hell of a running game and a hell of a passing game, and your defense has dogs flying everywhere. Tell me a team outside of obviously Kansas City and Buffalo that can beat this team. It's hard.
Not in the NFC. Not in the NFC at all.
The Packers, we'll talk about them in a minute. They look like shit. The Buccaneers have no identity. I mean, the Rams, who knows what they are? Kyler Murray, the Modern Warfare 2 just came out. So we don't really have a whole lot of contenders over there.
They're getting D-Hop back. And they also just picked up Robbie Anderson.
Cool.
I'm just keeping up with the time. I'm just keeping up with the times. That's all I'm saying. Remember the last time that the Eagles were on Sunday Night Football? That was the game that Doug Peterson was shaving points off of and playing Kyle Sudfeld over Jalen Hurts. So I'm happy for Jalen Hurts. I'm happy for this Eagles franchise. It's more fun when they're good. I don't know if they may stumble. They have a lot of Super Bowl experience left. But... I mean, they have a lot of Super Bowl experience with Brandon Graham. With Kelsey, Jason Kelsey, Lane Johnson. So they got the guys to do it.
Go down the names of guys that play from in the Super Bowl, and they add young pieces that are probably even better. Arguably, this team is more talented than their Super Bowl team. I'll say it. Their weapon wise, it's more dynamic. Quarterback wise, more dynamic. Defense probably take a step back, but they still have a lot of young guys that can step up and be that guy. So, I don't know. Like I said, right now, if you're a Philadelphia fan in general, you're loving life right now.
AFC West matchup to finish up our talk of last week, Monday Night Football. I watched this one in the Caesars Palace Sportsbook. That's my sports heaven. Like that, if I could live just in a spot where I could watch, I had football down here and it was the giant screen. I had hockey, basketball, UFC. They even had the stupid cube game that D Wade hosts. They had that on one of the TVs. That was another bad game. I mean, I don't know. First quarter looked awesome. First quarter, I thought, okay, this is what I was talking about. Russ is here.
He's rolling out.
He's rolling out. He's confusing defenders, tricking defenders, thinking that he's going to run and then finds the open receiver. And he's actually hitting the open receiver. And then in the second half, I mean, that was just pitiful. So pitiful. They were lucky to get the field goal to fucking tie that game to put it into overtime. That's how bad that team was.
This team is just. I have no words.
They're so bad they make the other team suck.
Jimmy, this is the number one defense of football. It's not even close. This defense, teams are averaging 16 points per game.
We're averaging 8. Maybe as an offense,
16 points per game. And your offense can't fucking mustered one touchdown in 2 weeks. I just look. What at this point, maybe I'm convinced it's the coaching. Because right now, Russ, I don't know what in the world who told Russ that he's Drew Brees. Because ever since he came to Denver, he's tried to make himself Drew Brees as a small pocket passing quarterback. Newsflash, you are not small. You're small, but you're not a pocket passing quarterback. Get out in space. I don't care if you have a fucking bum ass hamstring. The damn kicker won the game on a bum ass hamstring. You can figure that shit out. So I don't want to hear that excuse anymore. And look, there is a complete divide in this locker room. The defense knows how good it's playing. They held Justin Herbert to fucking 19 points. They held Mike Williams, the number one receiver, to 2 catches for 15 yards. They held Austin Eckler to under 80 yards rushing. I mean, how do you lose that game on paper? Fucking Teddy Bridgewater could have won that game for you last week. I'm serious. Our old coaching staff and Teddy Bridgewater would have won you that game in reality. I mean, fuck, you have to, like I said, this ain't fun anymore. I'm glad you, look, I don't listen to the fan anymore because they shit on teams, they shit on everyone, and it's rightfully so. But Altitude said it perfectly. When was the last time someone said you needed to play better, Jimmy, on this team? No, can you name one? Since this coaching staff has walked into the building, name one time where it'd be like, you know what, Melvin Gordon needs to pick it up. You know what, Jerry Jeudy?
They're too nice. I mean,
there's nothing. Look at what Bednar does to the Avs. He says, you know what? I feel like Georgia needs to be better than that. He needs to produce better. Our defense back there is not playing to the level he is. Look
across the way at Michael Malone. Look at Michael Malone.
He doesn't say that thing. He's not happy right now. He's losing his fucking mind. He's saying, you know what, Jamal needs to get back to where he is. Right now, he's not where he's at, but he needs to get back to where he is. And you know what? He expects more MPJ. He expects more Aaron Gordon. Nathaniel Hackett doesn't have any expectations at this point. Not having an answer for benching Melvin Gordon for a whole second half. You want to take Javonte Williams?
You just won't talk. You just won't say it.
Fucking say it. Grow a fucking pair. That dude has no fucking balls. That's plain and simple. He has no nuts. No nutsack at all. And look, we'll talk about the Jets game here in a minute. But for fuck's sake, I don't know how this gets better. I really don't. Look, you have to figure out Melvin Gordon and Jerry Jeudy losing their mind on the sideline. KJ Hamler throwing his helmet on the field on the last play of the game the week before. There is zero respect for your coach. Zero. And
zero respect for your quarterback.
There's zero, and there's even less for your quarterback. Exactly. Like, you don't have the locker room at this point. You have to have some sort of respect around it. Yes, you are fucking the most injured team in the league right now. But for fuck's sake, if you're telling me, Russell, if you told me before the season your defense is going to average giving up 60 points per game, I said, what are we, 5-1? Right? If you told me that and I said, oh, I have Russell Wilson with some good weapons around him, I would have been sitting here being like, wow, this team's 5-1. We're in a great spot. We can do a lot of great things because you are wasting one of the best defenses in the league right now because your offense is incompetent with a high school football fucking playbook. Like I said, I don't know if he needs to give up a play calling already or what needs to happen because at this point, like there is no turning back. You're either put up or shut up time, or else you're gonna be out of the fucking job. Because last time I checked, this team doesn't have a first or second round pick for the next 3 years. And at this point, I saw some rumors swirl, being like, maybe this team needs to trade Russ. That's funny. Maybe this team needs to draft a quarterback, in a third round, and hope for a swing and miss on a guy in a late round. Like, there's a lot of things swirling around, and like I said, you need to figure it out. There's zero time to do it because you cannot tell me that that Colts team is that much better than you. You cannot tell me that Chargers team with as incompetent as a coach as you have is that much better than you when your defense is playing that good. It is inexcusable. Inexcusable. Like Melvin Gordon's taking carries away from Javonte Williams. And then when Javonte Williams is injured, Latavius Murray's playing football. We must love.
Murray looked fucking good.
He did. He did. He's going to be probably the RB1 this week, or maybe it's Melvin. Who the fuck knows? Like I have no answers. I wish I did. I have no answers with this team, and I wish I could say we need a tank, but we don't have fucking draft picks to do that. So we are in one of the worst situations right now in football, and it's not even close.
Oh, you gave Seattle the number 7 overall pick if the draft were to happen tomorrow. They would have your number 7 overall pick sitting right there, drafting a quarterback in the top 10, more than likely, and fixing their quarterback situation. The thing that gets me, the story that I'm hearing about how you need to set up a meeting with Russ through his management team, what the hell is that? I mean, I know you you and your wife like to think you're Beyonce and Jay-Z. You guys aren't that important. You guys really, I mean,
I'd like to think that he's a better person than all this is on. But there's no doubt he's putting on a show. And you've seen it at the last couple of press conferences. He's not happy. He absolutely isn't happy. Whether it be him saying not let's ride or just basically whatever the answer is, he's not happy. How could you be when your offense is this bad? Like this starts on you because you're the guy who touches the ball every damn play with the center. So it starts with you, and you need to put this team on track. whether that be respectable and at least get to 500, where you can contend for a wild card spot or what. Because at this point, like I said, there's no turning back. You're fully invested in this guy, fully invested in this guy. You better figure it the fuck out.
Let's
or else that trade that we all thought was a damn steal for the guy may be the worst trade in Broncos history.
It's trending in that direction. Let's talk about this week. We're gonna get into our SeatGeek FEOTB NFL Pick'em Week 7. Use when you download the SeatGeek app, use promo code VSN. You'll get $20 off your first purchase. SeatGeek, one of the easiest ways to score last-minute deals, awesome seats at whatever event you're going to, whether it be the Bronco and Jets game coming up, which I will be in attendance. Be sure if you're out there, come say hi. I'm sure. Are you going to the game this week, or are you gonna?
I don't know if I can do that shit again.
I was gonna say this is my first and only time this season. I don't have to sit through it all that often. But if you are going to the game, you might as well download the SeatGeek app, use promo code VSN, get $20 off your first purchase. We're kicking things off Thursday night football, another doozy of a matchup. Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals hosting the New Orleans Saints and Andy Dalton. Alvin Kamara is back. He looked pretty good. Arizona is favored by 2 in this game. I really don't know where I don't know why I feel this way. I feel like this is a game Arizona is able to win, and that's gonna be my pick. I don't know. I'm interested to hear what you have to say about this one. But for Thursday Night Football, Saints or Cardinals, who are you going with?
If you're the Cardinals, you have to win this game. Like you said, it's a must-win game. Kyler Murray, put down Modern Warfare for another couple more days. You'll have a couple days off this weekend. Don't you worry. Just hold off during the week, which obviously we're recording this middle of the week. So I hope you calm down and didn't get the early access to it. That's all I'm saying. Because like I said, you can do it all fucking Saturday and Sunday. Don't watch a damn game of football. Get it out of you. But you better pay attention for this week. Because look, you get your number one weapon back. You do. Hollywood Brown is out for a couple of weeks. He'll come back, but you get one of the best receivers in football in the last 10 years, and DeAndre Hopkins back. That's without saying, because that's going to be a big factor here. If you're the Saints here, I don't know what to think of the Saints team anymore. I really don't. I love their weapons. I think this team really is. I think honestly, this Saints team is the Broncos of last year. They're a quarterback away with great receiving core, a pretty solid defense that's missing a few pieces here and there, and with an incompetent quarterback. I don't care if it's Jameis. I don't care if it's Taysom Hill. Or I don't care if it's a damn red rifle. This team is incompetent at quarterback. So if you I don't know what you're gonna do in the offseason or who you're gonna go get, but you need to figure it out somehow. Because you're gonna waste Chris Olave, you're gonna waste Michael Thomas, you're gonna waste Alvin Kamara. And right now, that is as good as a 1, 2, 3 option as you'll see in the NFL right now. Not many teams have it better than that. There are a couple, but they're not many. So if you're the Saints, you have to figure it out. But everything's telling me to lean Saints here. But I'll tell you right now what I'm doing. I'm hammering the under. That's what I'm doing. But I'm going to take the Cardinals. I have to be smart here. The Cardinals are, in my opinion, are a better team. And I don't know what the hell they decided to do with James Conner, but him being injured does not help. And I'm just lost for words. They better figure it out for the Cardinals.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, but I do think they should be able to win this game and win it pretty easily. J.J. Watt's going to have a field day in the Saints backfield. That offensive line isn't what it used to be. Bengals, first game of one of our teams, Bengals hosting the Falcons in Paycor Stadium. It's Paul Brown Stadium. I hate that they changed all the stadium's names this year. Since he's favored by 6.5, the over-under is 47.5. What are you feeling? This battle of two. Mariota won the Heisman, right? I'm not making that up. Yeah, battle of Heisman quarterbacks, Joe Burrow and Marcus Mariota. I don't know if this defense is good enough to hold up against this Bengals offense, but like we've been saying for this entire show, the Bengals defense leaves a lot to be desired. That's the only reason why I'm a little bit nervous as to which team is going to show up.
I think the Falcons will cover, but I'm picking the Bengals to win. Plain and simple. I think Mariota has not done a lot with his arm, but he's done a lot with his legs. And look, that's the one strength of this Bengals defense right now is Hendrickson and the edge pressure. So that's what you got to hope. If you're the Bengals, you can keep him contained and go from there. Right now, look, the Falcons do have one guy to lock down Jamar Chase. That'd be AJ Terrell. Can he do it consistently? Probably not. But when that happens, when a team usually has an opposing number one corner that's really solid, that they'll just mirror Jamar Chase all game long. What does that mean, Jimmy? You start Tyler Boyd in fantasy football. That's what that means. And you look, because he's going to look at T and he's going to look at Tyler Boyd and go from there. Last week was an all around game because Jamar Chase did not have a damn good soul across from him. So I'm still picking the Bengals here. I think the Falcons can cover this though. 6.5 is a lot, and I'm not confident in them. I'm not. To win by that much. I do think
6.5 is it. They're going to win by a field goal. That's just what they do. I want to let's throw in the Colts and Titans game because we do have to throw in another one to make it 6 games on the week. Indy going to Tennessee. Did you see that the Titans just got a new deal for a stadium approved? So they're going to have a new 1.7 million square foot stadium. That's
good for them.
Yeah,
I hope they talk that the fuck out. That's all.
Oh, you know that they're gonna. Jason Aldean's gonna open it. He's gonna christen it with a bottle of Jack Daniels. That's just the way that things roll.
That's more fun for me. I love that. So
yeah. That was so hilarious that Tennessee was parading the friggin' goalpost around Main Street, and then they just threw it in the river. Like, oh, I'm done with this. Toss.
Fuck that. Yeah.
All right. The Colts did put themselves back on track. This is technically for number one in their division in the AFC South. Both teams coming in at 3-2. Tennessee is a 2.5-point favorite. Over/under set at 42.5. Derrick Henry on the season only 408 yards, but he does have 5 touchdowns. So he's getting into the red zone. And man, I don't know. This Colts offense just doesn't really do it for me. So in my mind, I'm going with the boys. Are you riding with the boys as well?
Look, Indianapolis has pissed me off more than anyone because I have Jonathan Taylor, one of my leagues. He's pissed me off.
We have him in the bench mob team too.
Pittman has been hot and cold. I mean, I want to lean Indianapolis because I feel like that this Colts defense is finally taking a turn for the right direction. But no, I have to go Tennessee as well. We may be pretty even here throughout. We'll see when we get to my team, and we'll see how far we get there.
Yeah, I was just about to say we're going to your team's game next. It's the Jets and the Broncos. I will be live in attendance. The Jets coming into this game 4-2. The Broncos 2-4. The Broncos are a 1-point favorite. The over/under is set at 38.
Oh gosh. I want you pick first because I'm still undecided.
I'm going with the MILF Hunter. The guy is going to come in here. He's going to ride out with every woman who's over his 40s purse and their cell phone numbers. And yeah, it's mainly because of that defense. That defensive line is pretty damn good. Quinton Williams,
they're very good defense. They are.
Past couple weeks, and CJ Mosley, like they hit each other. They hit you in the mouth.
They fucked up that Packers offense.
Yeah,
and I mean fucked them up in Lambeau. I mean, talk about disrespect. I look.
Breece Hall is a fucking. I mean, he's looking like a hell of a draft pick right now.
Yeah, hell of a dog. I'm picking the Broncos because I'm an idiot. So I still have faith that this team can somehow figure it out. I am expecting to lose this game, and I've never thought I'd say that against the Jets team. And Dom, you can call me out. You can say I'm a fucking bandwagon, whatever you want to say. I think that my team will lose, but I'm picking my team to win because I have more morals than that. And yes, I had no morals when I picked the Chargers last week. I have a little bit morals when it says when because I'm not having the Jets fuck me. Is what I'm thinking. Look, they've played good, but at some point this is going to ride itself out, right? Because they're really young. They're very young.
Really young.
It's a good thing. It's a very good thing because that means they're eyes wide open. They don't fucking know what's good for them. So it's a very good thing. And I think eventually that may catch up to them because, like I said, they still play in a division with the best quarterback in football right now. They still play in a division where you have to face good old Bill Belichick. I mean, and you know how much he loves beating the Jets. Yeah. You still have to face a Miami team that has 2 of the fastest guys in football. I mean, at some point it'll figure itself out. I hope for my team's sake that I can get a win this week. That's all I'm saying.
I'm very surprised that they even got that point.
I'm very surprised too.
Even
the only
I
reason
thought they
is
would be
because we're at home. It's because we're at home. It's because of what happened last year. Because our defense was worse last year, and if you remember that the Jets didn't get past the midfield.
All gas, no brakes, baby. All gas, no brakes.
It's and I'll give credit where credit's due. They're all gas, no brakes right now.
Yeah, they are.
They weren't last year, but they are right now.
I think I told Dom to bring up. I'm wearing a Le'Veon Bell jersey to the game. I'm a trader.
That's dirty for you. That's dirty for you. What are you doing, Jimmy?
I have nothing. For you. I have no dog in this fight anymore. I have no dog in this fight. He's a boxer. He got his ass knocked out by Frank Gore or something like that.
That's just dirty, Jimmy. That's just.
I know. I don't like it either, but it's happening.
The only bright spot I have with this is it's not a primetime game.
That's true.
And this could get fucking stuffed away, and maybe that's better, right?
They're definitely not getting the A broadcasters, whoever they are going to get. They might get Schlereth. I hope they do get Schlereth because when they get Schlereth, he talks so much shit about it. He actually tells it the way that it should be. Sunday Night Football, second to last game that we're picking here. The Steelers going to Miami to take on the Dolphins, a Dolphins team that has not had the same quarterback finish the game that started it since week 1, I want to say. Since Tua got hurt initially, it's been just a revolving door. This guy broke his hand. This guy's in concussion protocol. Tua's cleared to practice. I have no idea.
Jimmy, it's a concussion ball.
It is the concussion.
It's Kenny Pickett versus fucking Tua, and both of them right now are going to be trying it out. This is is there a baseball on game or what's the good basketball game tonight or a hockey game tonight? That's what Sunday night's going to be because I'm not waiting all day for Sunday night this week. I thought that the Broncos versus who do we play on Sunday Night Football?
49ers.
49ers. I thought that was a snooze fest. This may be even worse. I'm picking the Dolphins, and I think you'll probably do the same thing here.
I'm picking the Dolphins as well
because you hate the fucking Steelers with everything ounce of you.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going the Dolphins here because the Steelers look so bad the last 2 weeks. Their improvements last week with Trubisky. But if you want to play this carousel back and forth with quarterbacks, then it's going to come back to bite you in the ass somehow. And I think it's going to come back to bite you in the ass this week. And you know what? Dolphins are wearing their cool uniforms, and Tua's back. So I have two of the Dolphins for moral reasons, I guess. Hopefully, neither of these quarterbacks get sacked.
Yeah, just don't touch the quarterbacks. Let's make sure that nobody.
Let's just play two-hand touch. Just let it two-hand touch this week.
Monday Night Football. The Chicago Bears going to the Patriots and playing in Foxborough. I'm taking the Bears. I think that the Bears are. I want to be right one time with them, and they're gonna sneak a. Why the hell the Bears in prime time for 2 weeks in a row is my first question. But I do think I want to be right.
Time for 2 weeks in a row too. So
I want to be right with them one time, and I think that this is a decent enough week, if any. Bailey Zappi, he's not going to be the answer. I don't think he's the next Tom Brady. I really don't. I mean, I know you're giving me that look. I know you're giving me that look. First off, Mac Jones is not Drew Bledsoe, so let's make sure that we stop that comparison right there. So, Bailey's happy.
But you know what? All the rumors swirling is that Mac Jones wouldn't get surgery. Patriots aren't happy about it, and that he's got that now he has too much of an ego because of how well he did last year. And there's one place where you don't have an ego, it's New England. So he's gonna learn real quick. Bailey, and apparently he wanted Hoyer to start because that's why I started Hoyer against whoever it was because he was worried that Zappi would take his job. Jimmy, I think this is as real a competition as you may think it is. I'm not saying it's a good competition. I'm not saying Zappi's going to be Brady. I'm not saying Zappi will be even Brian Hoyer. But I think the conversation is going to start. And I'm going to the Patriots. I am. It's dirty. It feels dirty doing it, but I'm going to go to the Patriots. I'm sure as hell not watching that fucking game, though. My God, there's no way in hell I'm watching that one. But, man, I have to Patriots. I really do. I think Zappi is making a name for himself, A, and B, is going to be in a position where Mac Jones is going to be healthy. There's going to be a conversation to be had. There will be.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation up there. Let's get Bulla on here because he did get his first win of the season. He's 1-6 now. I gotta
look at the lines. Bulla did not do his homework as much because he was looking at college football lines. He was
too busy celebrating his win.
He was popping cigars and having a lot of fun. So let me pull these college football lines up because, like I said, Bulla texted me earlier and I have to look it up. So give me a second here. He locked in a couple already. But you know where he was looking at. He was looking at the Ohio State line. He was flirting around with that -20. And then I was like, I don't really
It's
want.
minus 29.5 now.
Yeah, that's not ideal. That's all I'll say. It's not ideal. Then he was flirting around with Tennessee and Middle Tennessee. And you know what he was taking there? He was gonna go against his win last week. It's a weird one. It's a very, very weird one. So, but you know what he's gonna go with? It's one that you didn't love earlier. He's picking Penn State -4 against Minnesota. It's a weird one, but he likes the Nittany Lions getting back on track. He thinks Michigan's that good. And he told me that you know what? He's gonna ride with Penn State Nittany Lions. He's wearing that light blue. He's rocking the light blue, and he thinks at home and with that raucous crowd, they can beat Minnesota. Minnesota has a hell of a run game. He said that Bula told me, but Bula still thinks, you know what? When you're hot, you stay hot, and you roll with teams that you trust. And he trusts the Nittany Lions this week.
If he wants to do that, I guess that's his prerogative.
Hey, last week was unconventional.
It was
unconventional going against Bama. So you never know.
You do never know. So that's our SeatGeek NFL Pick'em for Week 7. We'll make sure to keep you updated. We'll have updated stats and standings. Niko is ahead by 1 game still currently. Other than that, it's been a good couple weeks so far. We've been battling back and forth. And now that brings us to our UFC Pick'em that we have this week. UFC 280 is happening. Oliveira versus Makhachev. And what are we going to do? The top 3 fights. So the co-main.
Let's do the top 5.
The top 5, so the full main card.
Because I know the other names.
You know Chukagian and
I know Chukagian. I know her. I remember her. I don't know the other.
I know Beneil Dariush.
I remember seeing Gamrot fight on a fight night, and I know Chukagian. She's been around for a while.
UFC 280 Pick'em. Let's see what we have here. We will have Rev on next week to talk about the fallout of the fights. So,
hey, Boo Boo the Bear's on this card, Jimmy.
Who's Boo Boo the Bear?
Boo Boo the Bear? You don't remember Boo Boo the Bear?
I'm lost.
Abubakar. Habib's brother. How are you going to arrest
goodness.
Boo Boo the
Where
Bear?
Is he?
Abubakar. He's a welterweight. He's prelims.
Oh yeah, he has the same last name. That is Boo Boo. That's
Boo Boo the Bear. Boo Boo the Bear's back, Jimbo.
Omagara Daziev. Oh my god,
that's a tough sledding for Bruce Buffer this week with these names.
These are all. I mean,
these are all names that are not tough to pronounce. He's gonna have a hell of a week.
Volkan Ozdemir is one of the easiest ones to do, and that's still pretty out there. No, this is actually, now that I'm looking through the card again, I kind of forgot who was all on it and everything like that. This is the return of Killshaw. Yeah,
you got Sugar Show. You have Bilal Muhammad and the Twitter god. I mean, yeah, Boo Boo the Bear. You know I'm man, Boo Boo the Bear.
Yeah, I figured that you probably had some money on him already. Let's get into this main card. So we're starting off. First fight on the main card is women's flyweight. It's Caitlin Chukagian, plus 175 underdog, and Manon Fiorot. She's 9-1, minus 210. You said that you've seen Chukagian fight. What are you thinking here? What I'm thinking this Fiorot girl is looking mean as a motherfucker. I think she's gonna win. Look, Chukagian's, like I said, been around for a while. She's been hot and cold, orthodox fighter. I mean, look, she's a girl that she's gonna put up a fight. I would expect this to go the distance, but I'm gonna have to go with the hotter fighter right now, Manon Fiorot.
Fiorot, that's a hell of a French name, I'll tell you that. I'm gonna roll with her this week. Look, look, Fiorot, if you're a betting person here and you're wanting to take a fighter in a certain type of way, you take Fiorot by decision or by knockout. Submission average 0%, takedown accuracy 50%, but takedown averages it's not high, it's high, but she was a ground and pound woman. When she gets on the ground, she gets a high mount, and she's going to try to go for the head, not for the submission. So I'm gonna go Fiorot here for whatever reason.
Next one that we have up here, the lightweight fight, Beneil Dariush, plus 160 underdog going up against Mateusz Garmot, who is 21-1 and a minus 190 favorite. Also, actually pretty much even except for the reach. I think I'm going to go with Gamrot. I know that I've seen Dariush fight. I know that he's a monster. I think that he's a little bit past his prime. I think
Yes.
that he missed his championship window and he had a great run, but now Gamrot seems like he's the young guy that's coming up there, and I think Dariush is more of a gatekeeper. I think that's what we're going to see in that matchup there at lightweight.
Yeah, I think Dariush is going to be the gatekeeper here. I'm with you here. I'm with Gamrot here as well. I think he's a very up and coming fighter that has a lot of good stamina. Has been through a lot of fights here and there with 22 wins on or 21 wins under his belt and 22 fights. I mean, Dariush, like I said, good fighter. But this is a gatekeeper match, and we all know how the gatekeeper matches go. It usually either A does not end well for the gatekeeper, or B ends in a decision and no one's happy at all. So I'm gonna go with Gamrot here, taking that next step and getting himself into a picture in the lightweight division.
Next one up here, basically the third biggest fight on the card: Peter Yan and Sugar Sean O'Malley. Bantamweight matchup. Sugar Show is a plus 220. I honestly think this is too early, too big of a step for him, too early. Other than the fact that he's got about a 5-inch height advantage, a 5-inch reach advantage, there is nothing in what I've seen from Sugar Show in his last few fights to say that you're ready for this. And Peter Yan is that dude. I mean, Peter Yan should still be the champion. He lost the belt on a technicality where he had an illegal knee. That was what lost him his championship.
And the next fight after that, Aljo was just putting too much pressure, and honestly, it could have went either way. So I can't bet the Sugar Show. I'm gonna do it just for the fuck of it and be like, you know what? Let's just see what this 2 + 220 gets me. I don't think he's gonna win. I really don't. I think Peter Yan and still, like I said, this division is very top heavy with the top three. Obviously, top three, other top two we'll get to here in a moment, but Sugar Show is not ready for that yet. He really isn't. You think he had so much trouble with Cheeto Vera? Peter Yan will put you in the deeps of hell and drag you to the deep end and make your life miserable. A, on the ground and pound, and B, stand-up game that was so much better than you. The one thing that will help Sugar Show so much is that massive reach. Like, we're talking a 5-inch reach is massive. Especially against a guy like Peter Yan who does like to stand up, so that may help Sugar Show in the long run here. But I still have to go Peter Yan because I think he's a much more accurate fighter than Sugar Show, who's just going to come out swinging.
Co-main event, also at the 135-pound weight class. It is TJ Dillashaw's first time to try and recapture his title since he lost it to Cejudo and then had the year-long suspension for the PEDs. He did come back in 2021, beat Corey Sandhagen in a split decision. This is based. I think that he got this matchup based on his reputation, and I mean, good on him. He cannot be understated for the streak that he stopped with Renan Barão. That was crazy, and he went on a run after that. The trilogy with Garbrandt was great. He's definitely earned his reputation, and it's deserved. I don't know if he's gonna still have it. I mean, he's older now.
I don't know if you've seen the pictures of Dillashaw. Dillashaw looks fucking.
Is he back on the sauce?
Dude, it looks like it. It almost looks like it. It really does. I'm going to Dillashaw here the whole way. Yes, I'm fucking homeboy. I don't care. Yes, he fights out of Colorado. Fucking fight me. I don't care. You know I'm a ride with the Colorado boys 9 times out of 10. So I'm going Dillashaw here. And like I said, look, Aljo is a good story. It really is. But at this point, I think Dillashaw just is that next level. And like I said, I think this division has been waiting for it since Cejudo left. Between the fights between Yan and Sterling and basically wanting circle around who's going to be the guy, who's not going to be the guy. Well, Dillashaw was that guy. I think he steps back in and takes over, in my opinion. So I'm going to go Dillashaw here, getting the title back, being the guy.
I'm picking Aljo. I think that he's too young. He's too quick. He's going to expose Dillashaw for being out of his prime, unless Dillashaw is back on the sauce, and then he's going to have.
He's on the sauce.
He's going to be.
If you see the pictures, he looks like he's on the sauce.
Well, whatever helps. Then the main event, the one that we're all here for, Charles Oliveira, the lightweight champion, taking on Islam Makhachev. The next big thing, 3.5-inch reach advantage for Oliveira. Obviously coming off and defending his championship a couple times now, is been the class of this very stacked, very top-heavy lightweight division, coming off of a submission victory over Justin Gaethje, and then as well as Dustin Poirier and a KO of Michael Chandler. So he's been on a roll. It's not like there's anything really that you can say points to him not being able to pull this off or not being able to continue to be successful. Other than the fact that when you look at Islam Makhachev and he hasn't lost a fight in 3 years, his last three KO and Ben Green, Dan Hooker submission, Moises submission, Dober submission, Ramos. Like he's put together quite the resume in the short amount of time that he's been in the UFC. Is he ready to take that next step? Is he ready to become a world champion? That is the question that is going to need to be answered this weekend.
I'm sorry, Jimmy. What resume? Because last time I checked, he basically got this fight because he's friends with Habib. I'll be the one to say it.
You're going to say? I mean,
I'll be the one to say it. I know we're gonna get shit for it. I'll be the one to say it. He got this fight because he's Habib. Look, Jimmy, the people you just named, Bobby fucking Green, Dan Hooker, Dober, who's washed. I mean, the last 5 fights have been nobody's. Jimmy, and look, I think you lean the same direction I do, but look at the dogs Oliveira's faced. He's faced the who's who of this division. And like when I think of what Charles is and what he's able to do, I have to go Charles. It's uncanny, it's unorthodox. Everyone's going to be riding the fuck out of Makhachev because of his wrestling. But there's one guy in this division that I know can handle the ground against him. It's Charles Oliveira. We're talking about a guy that beat Gaethje, beat Poirier, beat Michael Chandler, beat Tony Ferguson, beat Keith Lee. That's just his last 5 fights, Jimmy. This guy has the repertoire, the fights under his belt where you can be like, yep, if there's one guy that I'm trusting, it's him. And unless I get proved wrong, the odds right now, what were they sitting at originally? Let me see.
It's plus 160 for Oliveira, minus
I'm
190
hammering the fuck out of that, and it's not even silly. I am going to be riding the hell out of that. Look, I think Makhachev is an animal. I think he got peed on this way too damn quick. You're telling me the guy last fight beat Bobby Green. Bobby Green's not a bad fighter, don't get me wrong, but his last win was Bobby Green, and you're giving him a title shot? I mean, Jimmy, the names are just names. He hasn't fought any of them. Any of them. Like any of the guys that Oliveira's fought, he hasn't even stepped in the ring with. I do think Makhachev is probably the rightful next person to get a title shot. But I think at this point it's hard for me to pick against Oliveira. Plus with plus odds too. Fuck yeah, absolutely.
I'm kind of leaning that way too. I mean, the run that he's been on, and he's made it look easy against guys like Gaethje and guys like Michael Chandler, and so. I'm on Oliveira as well. We're pretty even on that one. The only one that we disagree on was Dillashaw and Aljo. So that'll be the deciding factor. And then when we have Rev on next week, he'll tell us why we were wrong in our picks.
We had no idea what we're doing.
Yeah. And what's
go Boo Boo the Bear? That's all I'm hoping for.
Boo Boo gets the knockout. Boo Boo gets the knockout. That's what I'm calling. Let's get into. Do you have a start bench cut, or do you want to do player?
Let's get play and player of the week because there were some really good ones out there. I want to hear what you got first.
Let's see. My play, I'm going to go with Cogs' goal because Cogliano, the fact that he was a trade deadline acquisition last year, came in and gave one of the speeches in the players only meeting during the playoff run, and then he kicks off the season scoring early on. I'm going to say that my play of the week, whether it was that beautiful of a goal or not, it set the tone. And I love to see guys like that are still, I mean, he's a competitor because they won the cup. He finally got his cup that he'd been working so hard for, and he looks like he wants to go at it again. So,
yeah, I like that one. I do like that one. Look, NBA's back, so I'm going to ride this a little bit. Paolo Banchero is back, baby. He was the number 1 pick. And look, I could have gone with the Jeff Green dunk because he baptized the guy, and he's 35 years old. Yeah, he baptized good old Kelly Olynyk over there in game 1, but we're getting our ass kicked, so it doesn't matter. So I'm going to go with Paolo Banchero, who's the number 1 pick over on the dunk in game 1 against Detroit. So, like I said, Paolo looks like an absolute animal, and I love what I've seen on him in preseason. And his dunk over, let me see who the hell this was. I don't even know who the fuck that is. It looks like Amir Johnson. But I'm picking that dunk over Paulo where he basically got the N1 and put his nuts in the guy's face.
My player of the week is Jalen Hyatt. That dude was a man amongst boys. The fact that you had 6 receptions and 5 touchdowns, 270 yards, that's impressive. And it's against Alabama's defense.
That's not a bad one at all. Let me see. Let me see. I was gonna pick Hendon Hooker, but I won't be that weird and won't be a broken record. Let me see. Let me see what happened last week. Oh shoot. Damn, I could go with a couple ones here. I did like what Kelsey did. I think like you know what? I'm gonna go Josh Allen. That's an easy one. Josh Allen, what like I said, him jumping over dudes, it's back-to-back years now where Josh Allen has leaped over Kansas City guy in basically the exact fashion. And I'm riding with Josh Allen. Like I said, I wish I was a Bills fan. It looks so much fun to be a Bills fan, Jimmy. I want to put myself through a table and baptize me in a Bills Mafia at some point if my team keeps doing this to me. So I love what Josh Allen's doing, and like I said, outplaying Patrick Mahomes, your defense doing what it did. I love what Josh Allen's doing. So Josh Allen's player of the week for me.
We'll see. Maybe for next football season, since we know that Josh Allen is good, we'll put together a T-shirt for the Bills because the T-shirts that we put together haven't been panning out the greatest. With the ride or die or the return to the
we're
jungle.
dying.
You guys should.
We are dying.
Should pick up one of those shirts because they are super nice and comfy, and you can get them by going to bonfire.com/variety-sports-network, and you can get all kinds of Variety Sports Network memorabilia and gear. Are we missing anything? Anything else that we got to kind of wrap up here? I think that was a pretty
not
solid.
Really. Like I said, it's fun having Florida sports on. Look. Yeah. The Yankees rigged baseball rigged the Yankees to beat the Guardians. Is all I'll say. The Guardians deserve better. Did
you see the downpour that was going on the other night? There's a reason why that game got rescheduled.
It's okay. I like to think that the MLB is rigged and baseball just rigs everything. So that's why I'm doing that and saying this. Good for the Phillies and the Padres series. That'll be fun. I just don't want the Yankees, if I'm being honest with you, and I really don't want the Astros either.
I was gonna say you'd rather go with the Astros.
Go Phillies or go Padres, right? that's where I'm at this point. Fuck, and I hate the city of Philadelphia, which I really shouldn't. It's not as bad as I've been saying, and Padres are supposed to be rivals, I guess, but my teams, the Rockies, are irrelevant, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, as of we're recording this, the NLCS is tied 1-1, Phillies and Padres. The ALCS, the Astros have a 1-game lead, and when you guys are listening to this, you'll be able to watch Game 2 of the ALCS. The pitching matchup is going to be Severino versus Valdez. Houston is favored -155, just so everybody's aware. But yeah, that's our playoff baseball talk. It's almost over, guys.
We got it in for you. You didn't think we did, but we got it for you.
All right. Well, this has been episode 113 of the Front of the Bench podcast. Be sure to follow at FEOTB Pod. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You'll want to check out the video. If you've been listening, you know what Niko's talking about. Plus, we'll have our UFC and NFL Pickems come out on the YouTube channel. Be sure to follow at variety_sports_ subscribe to that YouTube channel as well. Sundays live at 9 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We go live with Talking the Gridiron. Myself, Darren, Tyler, Niko's been on. Rev has been a frequent contributor to that show as well. So be sure to check that out on Variety Sports Network. And yeah, continue. I mean, we got sports for days now. So we're going to have hockey, basketball every single night. Football is still rolling right along. We're about to have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday night action, Wednesday night football. It's going to be all week. So we're going to have plenty of stuff to talk about.
My bank account, my sports betting bank account was doing so good, Jimmy. And then, everything just came at me like a hurricane.
Yeah. Well, tends to blow in that way, I guess you could say. Anyways, this has been episode 113 of the Far End of the Bench for myself, Jimmy Pilato, my co-host Niko Bryant. Thank you very much for listening. We will see you guys next week.
Peace.